Welcome back to Cityline. This next institution is near and dear to my heart, as these two people are, because as many of you know, I am a military brat. Yep, I'm the person who stops people in the store when they have uniforms on, and I thank them for their service. So please join me in welcoming Lieutenant Colonel Lee Spencer Wallace. You are a battalion commander with the Seattle Army Recruiting. And for this segment, we're going to call you Lieutenant Colonel Wallace because we respect what you do. So welcome to Cityline.
Thanks, Amanda. Thanks for having me here today.
It's great to have you. And you brought with you Sergeant Megan Hammond. You are a U.S. Army Reserve Information Technology Specialist. Welcome to Cityline, Sergeant Hammond.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Oh, it's my pleasure, both of you. So, Lieutenant Colonel Wallace, let's start with you. Tell us about the Army National Training Days. What is it? Where is it? And what is the U.S. Army hoping to accomplish?
Absolutely. The Army National Hiring Days is really a focused effort between May 10th and June 14th, ends on the Army birthday, Flag Day, June 14th, as an all-Army, a nationwide campaign. And we're trying to reach a goal of getting 1,200 total Army enlistments out of this period. And really focused mostly on using career fairs, virtual opportunities to make contact with interested individuals, applicants, to enlist as soldiers and also to potentially be medical officers for both the regular Army and the Army Reserve. And we're putting a lot of money towards this to really try to focus in on getting those folks within 11 priority jobs within our Army. Anything from an infantry soldier or a special forces soldier all the way down to folks that are, they're maintainers where they repair rocket systems or parachute riggers or even explosive ordnance disposal specialists. So lots of opportunities over these next few days.
Lieutenant Colonel Wallace, you said that so well. It makes me think about this year that we have been swimming through the pandemic.
Right.
The one thing I think all of us have is a better view of our world globally and how we can serve and what we can do because things are changing so much. So those outstanding individuals that you are looking for have a treat ahead of them. Sergeant Hammond, you have an amazing story that I think more people need to know. So why did you join the U.S. Army Reserve?
Sure. So going back to when I was in college, I wanted to go active duty and I got hurt towards the end playing sports in college and I couldn't get in the Army at the time. So I drove across the country for a job opportunity in IT out here in Seattle. And I started an IT career that has been great for me. But a couple years in, I was healed and I was better and I still wanted to serve. And I wanted to do something a little different than my office job. So I enlisted in the Army Reserve as an 88 kilo watercraft operator. And I got the opportunity to work in a very small field in the Army, a very close-knit field. And I joined because I wanted to do something fun. I wanted to serve. And that's exactly what I got to do.
I'm going to put you on the spot here, okay?
Sure.
You break one of the rules that my grandmother told me to never do and ask a woman about her age. Sergeant Hammond, how old are you?
I am going to be 32 later this month.
32, and you were how old when you joined?
I was 26 going on 27 when I joined.
And you already had some education behind you because one of the things that we know about the U.S. Army is that they have a great education package for anybody who is enlisted in those services.
Yes, ma'am.
I love that. I mean, you are already my hero because to go back into this, let me ask you the question. How did you maintain a civilian career with all of its demands while still serving your country? That's a hard balance.
It can be tricky at times, but you know, the reality of it is, as with anything you decide to commit yourself, whether it's a sport or a hobby, you know, the Army Reserve is a second job, but it's about commitment. And I'm committed to both of my careers, and they're both very important to me, and I strive to do really well in both of them. And I find both the Army and my civilian employer are respectful of that. And it really comes down to showing you're committed and doing the best that you can at both. And I've had nothing but respect and support from both sides for that.
My goodness, who wouldn't want you, Sergeant Hammond? Okay, can we just like clone you? That's exactly what we want. So I mentioned one of the benefits of joining the U.S. Army or the U.S. Army Reserve. But Sergeant Hammond, can you expand upon there's healthcare, and give us another example? And then Lieutenant Colonel Wallace, we're going to come to you and talk about education.
Sure. So healthcare is a big one for me. The TRICARE Reserve program is absolutely incredible. Now, I work in IT civilian side, and I am provided great healthcare there, but TRICARE is that much better. It's an incredible benefit, especially for families. It's an absolute fantastic benefit to take advantage of. Sort of on the education side, outside of getting a degree, something I have taken advantage of is the tuition assistant and certification programs that the Army offers. Just recently, I was able to get an industry certification through the Army, paid for and attended a class and took my certification exam that I use in the Army daily, as well as in my civilian job. And that's the CompTIA Security Plus certification, which is a huge industry certification. And I was able to get that through the Army. Further, VA home loans are another. I've just reached eligibility for VA home loans, and I'm looking forward to next year using that benefit. Those are the big benefits to me, outside of the intangible benefits of just amazing people. That opportunity everywhere. I know the people that I work with, and I know them as well as I know anybody else in my life.
Wow. And if that wasn't enough, Lieutenant Colonel Wallace, let's talk about education from entering into a 4-year, or someone like Sergeant Hammond who comes back in and it is an enhancement.
Right. Well, so I think it's important to distinguish the differences in our active Army and our Army Reserve. You know, in the active Army, soldiers, they'll conduct their service, right, full time. And then their education benefits can also be used while they're in service, or maintained so that when they get out and transition, they have education benefits that are available. And oh, by the way, those don't have to be you that use them. Your family members, in many cases of the GI Bill, have the opportunity to use those. My daughter is in school in Columbus, Georgia, in an esthetician program, and she's using my GI Bill. So just super glad to be able to do that for her. But, you know, in an Army Reserve, the other benefit is they have time to pursue that education as they're doing it in their civilian career, and also they're serving as a reserve soldier in that capacity. So certainly just a wide range of benefits to put towards education in both the active and the reserve side.
Yeah, well said. And I got to say, Sergeant Hammond, when you were talking about TRICARE, you know, we here in the Pacific Northwest, we have JBLM. It is a crown jewel. My dad, retired military, used to call it the Club Med of Medicine, because it's so good. All of the top doctors train out there. So know that you've got some amazing health care should you decide to go this route. For Lieutenant Colonel Wallace, what are some of the common misconceptions that you hear about life opportunities in the Army? And then how do you overcome that as a recruiter?
Well, so I think the most common misconception I hear is that I just won't have time to go to college, or if I go to the service, you know, it's either or. And they don't realize that you can do both. In the past decade, just the GI Bill alone has given, you know, opportunities for college for millions of our veterans. Or like me, I went through the Reserve Officer Training Corps in college, and I was able then to earn a commission to come on active duty as a career. So they really go hand in hand, the education benefits with the service. The other thing is, I won't be able to do anything after the service, or, my specialty or experience is not applicable. Not true at all. I mean, there's a transition period in the Army and several programs that helps them to not only put to use the skills and experience they have gained within the service, but also to connect them with industry and other partners in our Partnership for Youth Success programs. I mean, just here in their area, we have Amazon, Pierce County Sheriff's Department, the Seattle Police Department, 100 of opportunities for them to pursue transition. So military service is complementary to any goal I think any young folks have.
I have to tell you, I agree 100% on that. In the sense of just what it teaches you, and just what you learn. It is an incredible life if you choose to have it in the military. For Lieutenant Colonel Wallace, how do people contact you about joining the U.S. Reserve, and how can we be a part of this recruitment?
Well, so the best way, especially now, right, is to go to social media. So contact us at Go Army Seattle. There's also a goarmy.com/hiring days, and that will get you in contact with the local recruiting non-commissioned officer wherever they may be located. And
then those, I'm assuming those are virtual interviews.
They can be. They're virtual connections, and we can further the conversation virtually, or we can meet face-to-face as the conditions dictate and require.
Lieutenant Colonel Wallace and Sergeant Hammond, first off, thank you for what you do for our country. You protect people you don't even know. You would put your life on the line for me. And so I want to say thank you so much for your nobility and your service. And also thank you for being here today and really opening up the world of the Army Reserve for people, because as we're all questioning what is the new normal, what does my life look like, this is a wonderful opportunity for people to pause and perhaps think about going this route. So thank you both so much for being here today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, that wraps up another great segment of Cityline. It is always a pleasure and a privilege to be in your home. We have given you some really great things to think about in this past hour. And yes, we are still in it right now. So please continue to wear your mask. Continue to keep your gatherings small. Keep yourself socially distant, but not emotionally distanced. And above all, get a vaccination. And when you come back, as always, I'll be waiting for you right here at Cityline. Take care.
Tacoma's where you'll stay. Oh, you're from Seattle. Oh, you're from LA. Oh, you're from Chicago, but Tacoma's where you'll stay. Yeah, Tacoma, that's my home. From the fire